So as you guys know, the 2027 Silverados have been unveiled. We're probably going to see the GMC Sierras really soon. And I wanted to do this video because there's a lot of things riding on this new redesigned Silverado. And I have to admit to you guys, GM cannot mess this up. In the last few videos I've done, I told you guys we're going to be doing special pricing on the 27 trucks. So I have 3 spots left. That's it. Be sure to text the number down below. I'm here at Ken Garff Chevrolet in American Fork, Utah. Whether you live here or not, get on the list. That way, once these trucks open up to order, you can be on the list, you can spec out your truck and get special pricing. Let's jump into this video. Now, most of you guys know we have a lot of updates for the half-ton trucks, but GM has not given us a complete list of everything that's going to be updated for this Silverado for 2027. So number one, let's go ahead and get down the list, because if GM doesn't do these things, I think that they will completely fail with this new truck. And most of you guys have been mentioning that the RST trim level is gone. I actually missed this because I don't do a ton of videos on the half-ton Silverado, so I did miss this. So RST, which is this truck here, is no longer available. And if you don't know, it does give you the painted front and rear bumpers. You get the nicer wheels right there. Also, you can do a 6-passenger, which this truck is, or 5-passenger. You can get leather or cloth seats, and it comes pretty well equipped. You can get different engine options with it too. So this is a really good trim level that's no longer available for 2027. Now, what is GM going to be doing to, I guess, fill the void of this trim level? Because it's not just this trim level, it's also the LT and LTZ. Those two are gone now. So let's go ahead and go down the list of trim levels that are available. First and foremost is the work truck. We know that was going to be there. Also custom, and then custom Trail Boss is a separate trim level too. Also, you have the regular Trail Boss, which is basically the LT Trail Boss of 2026. Then you have the ZR2, and then High Country. So now we have 7 trim levels for this truck, basically. I think that the Silverado trim level, so it's going to be Silverado basically, but really, in fact, it's just Silverado without a trim level. I'm willing to bet you money you're going to be able to add a package to Silverado that makes it basically this here, because it's probably going to come standard with chrome bumpers, right? As a matter of fact, I don't think I've seen a 27 with chrome bumpers. Would that be a problem to some of you guys out there? Would they cause an issue with some of you if they don't add chrome bumpers for that 27? Because now that I think about it, you don't really see these trucks with chrome bumpers anymore, unless you get like a LT, LTZ truck. But yes, that's my first point. Are they going to offer up packages to fill the void of the RST? Because I like the styling of this and the price point. Because remember, this truck with the 2.7 liter inline 4 is just over $50,000, so $54,305 is the total price. Now, if you want the 5.3 or 6.2, I think those engines are available, as well as the Duramax. So this is an RST here, right? Has the Duramax, and this one has a center console, and it has leather seats. This truck is just over $65,000. So again, that's what's nice about this trim level. If you want to go pretty basic, like this one, or if you want to go crazy, this is the other option here. Number 2, this one's a big one, and I think that for me personally, I would prefer to not see this wax coating any longer. If you work on your own truck, you will understand why this sucks. I'm really hoping that GM gets away from wax coating on the frames and going to the e-coating, which is found on the Colorados. So most of you guys know GM did decide to go ahead and upgrade to this. So right here, you guys see this is like painted basically. And if you don't have e-coated frame and you have wax coated, if you ever work on your car, your hands are going to be black with this wax substance that is really hard to get out of your nails. And my wife won't let me touch her by having this wax coating, simply because I do work on my truck now. So I would like to see that go away. And based off of what I've seen, there's no news of that being the case. So hopefully it's just something that we're going to see down the pipeline soon. Number 3, whether you're getting the 6.2 liter or you're getting this Duramax diesel, everybody would like to see a larger fuel tank, simply because I hate having to fill up, especially when I go to Costco, because Costco has top tier fuel and their fuel is a little bit more affordable compared to other places. So as of right now, 24-gallon fuel tank is all you get for these 2026 and earlier pickup trucks. Now, I have heard if you're getting the Duramax diesel, GM has said that that truck should have a 900-mile range, but I have not heard anything about them doing a larger fuel tank. Hopefully it is over 30 gallons. I'm thinking 33 gallons plus, maybe. Very possibly it could be that, but if it's at least 30 gallons, that's still 6 more than this truck. So GM, please do that. Number 4, I don't have a problem with GM seats, right? I in fact think that GM seats are the most comfortable ones for longer trips, because as I've said in the past, I have a stiffer mattress and I do really good with stiffer mattresses. When they're really soft and I start to sink in, they always hurt my lower back. My wife is the same way. She likes the comfort of these seats. So I do have a GMC and these seats are pretty much the same. So I'm okay with the overall comfort. Now I know that a lot of people are not. So GM, if you're watching this video, please, please, please do 2 things for me. Get these seats anywhere between Ford and your seats right now, which is Ram seats. So go sit in the Ram truck and you basically have the perfect seat, because they're not too soft, they're not too stiff. Also, these seats are small. I think that GM needs to make these seats a little bit bigger. Like, for example, I wish I had something to compare it with here, but look at the seat cushion here, right? This is really thin, especially when you see it out back. They just have very thin cushions. And I think that they would do a lot better if they would just put a little bit more there and maybe just make them a little bit softer for those people who complain a ton. Let's go ahead and pop the hood. Most of you guys know that reliability is in the toilet for every manufacturer. Every manufacturer is having some form of failure, especially like the ones that we've always known to be reliable, like Toyota and Honda. Toyota with the Tundra has had nothing but problems with their 3.4 liter twin turbo engine. Now, here's what I'll tell you. The Turbo Max is probably the most reliable engine that GM has currently. And you guys know something that's funny about this engine? It does still use a 5W30 oil. Now, do you guys remember when they did the recall on the 6.2 liter? The 6.2 liters had a recall where the customer was supposed to take it in and GM was supposed to inspect the engine, and if it passed the inspection, then they would actually put a sticker on the oil cap for 0W40. So they went from a 0W20 to a 0W40. I watched a video from the Motor Oil Geek this past weekend, and I was shocked at the findings that Lake had. Now, he has probably one of the best YouTube channels out there. He gets a lot of research in, and he basically tested out 0W20 from GM, which is the AC Delco. Also, I can't remember the second oil that he did. It was a 0W20. It might have been a Mobile 1. Also, he tested out 0W40 and a 5W40 in a 3 liter Duramax. What was shocking about his test was the AC Delco oil, which is GM's oil, was trash. And even worse, the Mobile 1 oil had less wear metals than the AC Delco. So think about that for a second. How is it that the manufacturer's oil is worse than Mobile 1, which I think Mobile 1 might even make the oil for AC Delco? The only difference is the additive pack. So are the manufacturers actually even testing these cars to see if what they're actually putting in is better? See, I have an oil available down below. It's through Insane Diesel. Whether you have a gas or diesel, you can check out my website. You can search up whatever oil viscosity you have and try it out. It has tungsten in it. And if you don't know, do your research on tungsten in the oil. I can almost guarantee you that my truck will never go down for an engine failure, simply because of how that oil bonds to the engine and how it's going to protect those metals and significantly reduce any type of wear. For example, I also have a oil bypass through Insane Diesel that helps to act as a secondary filtration for that oil too. So at the end of the day, if you're looking for longevity, you want to bulletproof your truck, whatever, that is something I highly recommend. But back to the topic at hand here. The 5.3 and the 6.2 are done for 2027. We're now going to get a 5.7 and a 6.6. So here's my final point. I know that the tolerances in these engines are so tight that they have to go to these thinner oils. So now that the manufacturers know that people are going to still continue to buy these internal combustion engines despite the failures, what are they going to do to give us peace of mind? I know that some of you guys are hoping that GM will do a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. I don't think that's going to happen. But when you look at what they have done within the last decade, the last administration was all about pushing EVs. Green New Scam, as they call it, Green New Deal, which is what they called it. It really does point to the fact that they were trying to prevent these engines from lasting more than 100,000 miles to prove a point that we need EVs. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's happened. I don't want to create narratives, but it does seem like that because, again, they've been making engines for what, over 100 years? And all of a sudden now we have failures on tried and true V8s from the 2000s, like the 5.3 for example. The 6.2 came in the 2010s. The Toyota Tundra had the 5.7, which was very reliable, and then they traded that in for the 3.4 liter twin turbo, and a lot of other manufacturers done the same thing. And of course Ram decided to say the quiet part out loud with their, symbol of protest. What were they protesting? They were protesting that they were forced to do something against their will, which was take away the V8s and give us inline 6 twin turbo engines. And then from there, they would just order it down to EVs. I'm not saying that's what happened, but it sure dang looks like it was. I hope this video was helpful. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. I think that these 5 points, these are must-haves for the next generation GM. They have to make a change for this truck, for these things, because every time I do reviews, this is what comes up. And when I compare the trucks against the competitors, I do notice these things too, like the smaller fuel tank. That's a big deal. I've had trucks in the past with smaller fuel tanks. Like I had a Ram 1500 with a 20, I think it's a 26 gallon, and there's an upgrade for a 33 gallon fuel tank, but at least they have it as an option. My truck didn't have it when I bought it, so, and it was a company vehicle, which is why I didn't have it too. So if I had ordered it for myself, it would have had that option. So yeah, GM, those 5 things, please make sure are going to make its way onto the new Silverado. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Make sure notifications are on. See you soon.